All right, hey guys, what's going on? Needs more drums back in City Skylines 2 in our vanilla city of Grand Keys for another episode. And again, just like the last episode, I'm still getting over a little bit of a cold, so pardon my voice for this one. Hopefully it's not too bad. But yeah, just bear with me here as I'm getting better. It's been a cold couple of weeks in Chicago. The weather's been fluctuating pretty badly, so yeah, my body doesn't always handle that very well. But anyway, so in the last episode, if you'll remember, we rebalanced some of our city services, like our education system, and then improved our fire and police coverage. We also added this road maintenance depot, which we're in desperate need of. But now looking at our road condition, it is not looking too bad. If you remember the last episode, this was all red. So I will take this any day. And you can see all of our road maintenance vehicles right there and there and there. They're all driving around and working hard to restore the roads in the city. So no complaints there. Everything is going very smoothly. We're still making a bunch of money, even though we spent quite a bit in the last episode. We were making about almost $1 million. We were at like 990,000. And so we've spent over 200 grand, or we've reduced our monthly budget or monthly income by 200 grand, trying to, improve some of these city services. And, one thing that I kind of always forgot about is that since the economy 2.0 update, buildings have wages now. And I knew, like, I saw this, but I never really paid attention to it. It never really clicked in my brain that there's this added cost that's not exactly what's just listed on the building info. So if you'll notice, for the small school, the upkeep is only $5,000 a month. Well, if you click on the school, yeah, the $5,000 a month is the maintenance cost, but then you have the wages on top of that, which are $53,000, almost $54,000 a month. So that's like 10 times the cost that it says it's going to be, which is a little bit misleading, because if your budget really can't handle that, that's a huge difference. So I'm kind of surprised that they don't tell you this when you're going to place the building. It's kind of a hidden cost, I guess. But anyway, that's, neither here nor there. But it is, I think, a little bit of an issue, especially if you're trying to balance your budget and, you place down a building that you think is going to be cheap, and then it turns out to be really, really expensive and actually just runs you practically bankrupt. So anyway, for the episode today, we're going to do what I've been talking about lately and actually get into expanding some of these, kind of going out this way into this like rural area. I think I know we've been purchasing tiles like crazy, but we might purchase another one if we fill all of this up. There's some really weird terrain things happening with this map that I'm just not a fan of, and I really don't understand, to be honest with you. Like this right here, if anything, I figured that this would have been like a body of water, but it's not. It's just this big divot in the ground. So we're gonna like level this out. We're gonna kind of make the terrain, I mean, all this I'm fine with, like all these mountains and stuff, but I don't know why there are these weird divots next to these mountains like this. Like this to me doesn't really make any sense. I might kind of get rid of some of these and just make it, flat up against kind of the slope up to the mountain a little bit better. But I don't like these massive dips. I don't really think that they make much sense, to be honest. So yeah, I'm gonna clean that up as we go along. But the plan is I want to run this road along these tracks and kind of turn it into a county road and slowly bring it down in terms of capacity as it goes out this way, so we could gradually start to see a lighter, smaller densities, more spread out areas, and then by the time we get kind of past this intersection here, this is going to be like our first batch of farmland. Right here I still might put like some residential, some single family homes and stuff, kind of some suburbs, some neighborhoods, things like that. But once we get over here, the farmland is definitely going to start. And same thing with right here. I think I'm going to put one more neighborhood here, but then the farmland will start again. Well, once we get like past these tracks, it'll be pretty rural up there. So we're gonna fill up this area. We're gonna fill up this area here and start to work our way out this way. And then we'll just kind of see what happens with that. I don't think I'm really going to build anything right here right now. I'm waiting to see kind of what this turns into with this when we take some time and really build this highway interchange, just because the elevation changes here are pretty significant. So I don't think I'm going to do anything right now with trying to build anything right here. I'll see in the future. We might like end up just putting a few homes or something here, but it's not going to be anything crazy right now. So Anyway, let's go ahead and just get started with some of this terrain work and kind of get these roads laid out. All right, so I'm actually not entirely unhappy with that. We have a couple of different entry points for this neighborhood, and actually, you know what I'm going to do too? I'm going to go ahead and make this road. I'm going to remove parking on it by adding some grass and some trees. Plus, since it is going to be more of a neighborhood, I think it makes sense to outline this with some street trees. So yeah, so the theme here, you know, typically I zone out pretty even lot sizes. I kind of am not gonna do that in this part. I think I'm gonna make them, you know, somewhat similar and somewhat planned out, but I'm not gonna make every single lot the same size. I kind of want to go a little bit random, maybe add even some spacing between the homes, especially this street here. This is kind of gonna be the last block type area that we have in this part of the city, whereas like this is gonna be, I'm just gonna you know, put some spaces between the homes and make some bigger lots, because this is just kind of really the outskirts here. Even though scale wise it doesn't seem all that far, but you know, that's one thing about City Skylines that you have to try to emulate a little bit, is to try to, you know, make like a big city in a small space, I guess. So you want to try to replicate the feel of like a downtown to a suburb to a rural area. You know, that has to happen in kind of an unrealistic amount of space. But when you're building on a map like this, you almost want to look at it as like a region. Since it's not one super huge area, it kind of helps to look at it as more of like a region rather than just one city. And I think it's fun too, because then you can, you know, build things like intercity bus lines and rail lines that actually connect cities together rather than just connecting neighborhoods together. And it beats just building out one giant grid and making the city huge. It kind of gives you the chance to make different towns for different purposes and everything like that. But anyway, that's I'll get off my soapbox now. That's a rant for another time. But yeah, real quick, we'll zone this out and then move on to some of the farming. And there we go. So we got that all zoned out for right now. We'll let this develop a little bit. And obviously we'll put some trees around here and stuff to kind of shield this from this highway here and make this a nice little secluded neighborhood. Also wanted to plop down just a little commercial zone there, and even though our demand just completely disappeared for commercial. I feel like it always bumps up and then it just goes away. I think we have some mixed use buildings that are getting vacated and then rebuilt. Oh, there we go. Now it's developing. Perfect. So yeah, so I have a little shop here, and then I still want to figure out what to do with like this intersection. It's a little bit of a weird intersection with this main road and all these streets kind of coming together here. But I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to touch this area until we decide where the train station is going to go and how that's going to look. So we're just going to leave this as is for right now, and then jump over here and actually get started with some farmland. So for the farmland, I think I'm going to drag out, let's see here. So I want to, it's going to lend itself to some oddly shaped fields, I think. And what I will do though is I will drag out a road and follow this border right here. So we'll do something like that. And then I might even have it just kind of snake along the mountainside a little bit for a point, but I don't want this whole farmland. I don't want the whole road to follow the mountainside, but it would be nice though to have a second entryway kind of around, so that if people, you know, if this highway is blocked or whatever, there is another alternative route for people to go. What I might do is something like this actually. Let's do something kind of like that. And then we'll kind of snake along the mountainside here and bring this in right where we'll just we'll make this a 4-way intersection here instead of a 3-way. And wow, it really won't let me snap the middle of this road. That is annoying. I want to put it like right here. I guess I'm gonna have to do something like that. That looks pretty good, I would say. And now we'll turn snapping back on. We can just go straight here. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. There we go. That's not looking too bad. No, it's a little bit weird with this, you know, right angle and all these curves going on, but it'll lend itself to something kind of interesting, I think. So in terms of the farms, I want to build the farms actually off of these roads a little bit, so they're not going to be directly placed on this. So typically what I'll do is I'll do something like this and place like a little gravel road down here. And then this is where the actual farm will sit. It'll sit on, you know, one of these roads. And we'll do that there, and we'll do another one maybe. Actually, I might convert this to a gravel road and we'll have a farm. We'll put it kind of on a dead end here. And then we'll probably do another one around here. And we'll see if we have room for a like a fourth one, but we might. I got to see how big the you know, it'll let me make these fields. I would put something here, but I might actually just save this for a couple of homes. I do like to build some homes around my farming industry since it's not a big pollutant, you know, and also you expect people to live, you know, on their farms and own the farm. So it does make sense to actually zone some houses kind of in conjunction with the industrial zone, so the agricultural zone. So we're going to zone these out right here and then move on to, I don't know, maybe we'll jump across the road and kind of get to this area after this, because we're kind of running out of space here already. So let's see how it looks. All right, and so we got our farms all zoned out, and oh my gosh, what has happened here? Oh my goodness, what a massive accident! What has happened? Oh my gosh, look at we have a bus. Oh my gosh, this is just complete carnage over here. We have a fire that is broken out. A car is on fire. Oh my goodness, what is happening on this highway? This is exactly why I think this road is a little bit steep. We're gonna do some re-engineering at some point and make this a little bit safer, I think, because that is horrendous. Anyway, back to the countryside. So what I want to do, obviously we have some utilities connection problems, and so this is because we have a rural road here. So what we're going to do is we're going to extend utility service out under this highway. We'll just take our combined pipe, just run it straight under the road, which I think makes sense. I don't see any reason not to do this. You know, since we don't have like a well and septic functionality in City Skylines, everything has to be connected to utilities, so this is just the best way to do it. So now we have water and sewer hooked up, and we'll extend this out along this road as well, just because eventually it's going to want to reach out. You know, we're just going to continue to follow this highway along this way. Now we don't have power out here, so we're going to drag some low voltage lines, which is actually pretty cool because I like the way that these look along the side of the road. I think it's a really realistic touch to add to your city, and it makes a lot of sense. So I think we'll try to run it. I'm going to keep them on this side, just because we have the train track there, and so we can have a little bit more space. I think that'll be a little bit safer rather than having them, you know, right behind the these residential homes, and that way they probably won't interfere as much with anything that we decide to do in the future. I know I'm not paying too much attention to how this looks, but I don't want to put these right up against the road because that's an accident hazard, and if we have the space to put them, you know, closer in this closer to the train track, you know, off of this road a little bit, I think it'll be safer for the drivers as well. So no reason not to do that if we have the space to do so. But anyway, so now that we have that done, oh, we actually got to connect. We do have to do this, so we're gonna drag this. Let's drag it over. We'll add a connection here and just bring it right over there like that. And just for realism's sake, we'll go ahead and try to drag this around this entire area. All right, I'd say that's looking pretty good. So now all that's left to do is just detail this up, add some trees in between these, but we'll get back to that a little bit later. So right now, I want to figure out what we're going to do with this area here. And so I think that there are two things that we could do. One, we could just make this whole area into a residential neighborhood. Or two, we could actually add a second high school, because this is quite a dense area. We have a lot of people living in this area. I actually don't know how many because I haven't made this a district yet. But once we build this out, we will do that, and this part too eventually. So I'm kind of waiting on that until we figure out all of this. But for example, like this building alone is 145 residents, and you know, this one's got 193. So between all of this entire area, there's quite a bit of people living there, and I assume quite a lot of people that are in need of a high school education. And looking at our education, our high school, we're just about. My game did crash again. Randomly. I don't know why I'm experiencing so many crashes lately. Ever since this recent update that came out a few days ago, or at the time of this video, probably a couple weeks ago, I've just been having a lot more random crashes, and I feel like it's happening when I autosave the game or when this little XP bar levels up. I don't know. They're very more frequent than usual. Usually I get a game crash like every 30 to 45 minutes, and there's no crash log. It just shuts off. There, doesn't even freeze or anything. It's really, really weird. So I don't know. Hopefully it goes away soon. And sorry if you can hear my heat in the background. It's a cold one again today. But anyway, before we left off, we were talking about our education, and our high school is actually doing pretty well. So I don't think we need anything huge. I think right here, I wouldn't be opposed to building a small high school to serve kind of this side of the city. Only 400 capacity, but it can be extended, and so we can make some space for it, and then we can have a nice suburb kind of right here on this other side of the tracks. So we're just gonna go ahead and build that out, and then we might even add. Actually, I'm gonna leave this whole part open for now. I'm not gonna build anything on this side of the road. I have an idea of what I want to do over here, so we're gonna leave that as is for now. But yeah, let's go ahead and just build this out, lay out some roads, figure out where this high school is gonna go. It's gonna go right here. I already know that. But I think what we will do is I might push. You know what? No, I'm not gonna do that. We're gonna respect the topography here, and we're gonna leave this kind of jut of the mountain right where it is, and just work around that. So I think what instead we're gonna do is build something kind of like. Actually, I'm not sure. I don't know if I want to come off of this road and have another intersection here. I think instead what we might do is just build something, you know, completely separate, just off of this little highway here as an entrance to the school. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll lay out some of these roads, and then we'll see how it looks. Actually, just so we get an idea of what's actually a part of this asset, it's been a long time since I built this, so I kind of forget what's all in it. I'm just going to go ahead and place it down here. You can see the upgrade. So we do have a sports field that is actually quite large. That is a big addition to this, and I don't know if we need that over here. To be honest, we already have the huge sports park over here, and this is almost bigger than that. Yeah, I think we're actually not going to place that down for this school, but we will place down this extension wing, and I think it makes sense to put it right there. And then we'll come around back here and have some additional parking and some additional like, you know, basketball courts and things, some facilities like that. So I think that makes sense to do in lieu of the massive sports park there. Yeah, we'll do something like that for now, and then we'll fill this in with some parking and stuff in a minute when we detail this up. But now I want to go ahead and lay out some of this, some of the suburb here. And so I think we're not going to do anything crazy. We're going to do something more similar to this, a little bit, you know, more planned out, have some nice similar lot sizes and stuff. This would presumably be like a newer neighborhood, kind of some reclaimed farmland or something. So obviously this would have a little bit more planning to it. We're just going to do something like this here, and then we'll just lay this out real fast. Oh, we did unlock the real estate agent's mansion, which is cool because I've actually been hoping to unlock that. And we can put that, I wanted to put that somewhere kind of over here. So we might place that down in a little bit if I have the time. But in the meantime, we'll just keep on zoning this out. And oh man, I just realized something. This whole project doesn't even have a park. So we're actually gonna dezone something. I think we'll dezone these in the center here. Yeah, we don't need all that stuff. We're gonna put a park in here because any development like this definitely needs a park. And I think we'll do something. Now those are all too big. We'll probably just do something like a dog park because it gives 2 recreation instead of just 1. and I like that. Perfect. We got our dog park. We got our homes being built, and I did decide to use the waterfront houses again, just because I just like the way that these look. I think they're nice assets. You know, I think they have some good details in the yards and things. And I'm sure we're gonna get a lot of the same looking buildings because of the lot sizes, but I don't know. I don't care. I think it'll look nice, and especially since this is kind of a planned out neighborhood, a lot of these prefab neighborhoods do have very similar building styles, so I guess it really isn't that bad of a thing. But yeah, so now that we got this all done, the last thing we need to do is just detail all of this up, detail up this area, detail up this farmland, this whole residential area, and then finally the high school. So we'll get this all detailed up, and then that'll pretty much be it for now. So let's go ahead and just knock that out real quick, and then we'll do a little recap. All right, and you know what? I think we're just gonna end it here. This is a nice little build, if I say so myself. We have some nice tree-lined streets to kind of separate the neighborhood from the traffic noise that's coming through on this highway here, or what, you know, this rural highway, I guess, county road, whatever you want to call it. We have a nice pathway connecting this neighborhood to this high school, so that the students don't, if they live here, they don't have to actually walk on this road. They could just, you know, if they're over here, they could walk through here and then go through this pathway. And, you know, same thing goes if they're right here, they don't have to actually step foot on the busy street. So that's a nice consideration there. And then over here we have the same thing with the tree line. I feel like these spruce trees are a little bit big. I almost wish that we had like a smaller spruce tree because I really like the look that these provide. I think this is a really common tree. These tall, narrow trees like this, these are very common to see, you know, alongside like a neighborhood like this. But they're just a little bit too tall. I wish we had some shorter ones, and I know we do, but they'll grow over time. But I wish we had some that were more of like a large bush size, you know, rather than just this like giant, super tall tree. Because these are pretty big, but they do the job, and from a distance, I mean, they look okay. So I guess it's fine for what it's worth. But yeah, and then we detailed up the high school. We added some surfaces, you know, some trees around. Not the best detailing, but you know, again, some more connectivity, but some pathways. Not the best detailing, but you know, gets the job done. And yeah, I guess it is what it is. People definitely use the parking lot though. It's already full, and that's kind of not the best because I feel like a lot of people are using this parking lot just because they can't park over here. So we may have to figure out something else in terms of parking for this area. We might have to add like a little public parking garage or something like that, since this is kind of a busy downtown area and there's a lot of activity going on here. So we'll think about that a little bit later. We'll do an episode probably dedicated to some parking and some traffic fixes because, you know, we've overlooked a lot of that thus far in the city. But yeah, and then we just bordered some of the farmland with some trees and everything, detailed up some of these neighborhoods with some more trees and stuff like that. And yeah, this spot, I think I'm going to leave this open for now. Nothing really to put here at the moment. Maybe we'll put a, you know, little commercial building or something over here in the future. But for now, I just want to leave this open. But yeah, that is going to be it for this episode. I think this kind of rounds out this edge of the city very nicely. So in the next episode, I just don't want to work on this highway connection yet. It's kind of daunting. And that's going to be a big project, and I just don't want to do it yet. So I think instead, what we're going to do is fill in the rest of this, maybe even fill in this little spot on the coast. I have kind of a cool idea of what I want to do with this here. So yeah, there's a few things that we can get done. So we'll start thinking about that. And I do want to start thinking about our rail network and where we're going to put our rail depot. And actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, I should have put that here. I was going to put it here and I totally forgot. So we're going to have to find another place for it now, I guess. I wanted to put it kind of inside the city limits, but I guess we're not going to be able to do that anymore. So I might put it like right here or something, just kind of outside of this farmland, because it is a big facility. Yeah, as you can see, it's quite large and it needs a lot of space. And that's why this space would have been perfect, because it's flat and it's right over here. Oh man, I'm so upset. I'm so upset that I forgot to do that. But you know what? We're going to live with it. We're going to live with our mistake and it's going to be okay. I'm wondering, although we're going to have to rebuild quite a bit of, we'd probably have to cut through this industry and stuff, but I'm wondering if we should maybe try to do something over here with the rail yard. We have this large forest. We're probably not, I know it's going to get rid of a lot of trees, but we're probably not going to do anything else with this area. And it's a little bit bumpy, but overall it's pretty flat up until this whole thing here. So I think that actually might not be a terrible idea. We'll see. And let me just to compare, we might be able to do something with that here. We might be able to do it. We'll see. I don't know how well that would work, but I'll think about it. I'll think if there's any other areas that would be a good spot to put that. Yeah, and of course, as I was talking, my game crashed again. I really don't know what's going on. This is getting a little bit frustrating, but we're gonna persevere. I do get a solid amount of playtime each time. I just don't know what it could be. It is so strange. I wonder if it's a GPU issue. I do have a pretty good computer. I gotta say, you know, I got a GeForce 4070 Ti. I've got a really good Intel processor. I think it's a 12th gen. I got, you know, 64 gigs of RAM. I mean, I can put my specs in the description, or if you guys are very curious about it. But I built this computer just like a year ago, and it runs fine. That's what's so weird. I get good frames. I get good graphics. I've never had a problem with this or any other game for that matter. Pretty demanding games as well just run great on this computer. So I just don't know what it could be. But yeah, let me know if you guys are experiencing a lot of crashes as well. Maybe we can talk about, that. But Anyway, I'm gonna quit while I'm ahead. And in the meantime, actually, what about here? No, that's way too big. Can't do that there. All right, I give up. Anyway, in the meantime, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope that you guys have a great week, and I hope that you're enjoying the series. Leave a comment, leave a like, and subscribe if you feel so inclined. I hope you guys are staying warm out there in the cold, if it's cold by where you're at, and if it's warm by where you're at. Hope you guys are staying comfortable at least. I wish it was a little bit warmer here, but you know, it is what it is. Love where I live, so can't complain. But anyway, talk to you guys in the next episode. Peace out.